EFCore provides logs that help us determine the time taken by a specific query to finish. The logs also display the actual SQL query that was executed on the database end. This means that we have a very transparent way of knowing the actual command in SQL syntax and also about the time it took to complete. Hence, we can diagnose queries that execute too slow, possibly because an index was missing on database. And in this tutorial, we also examine how to use tags with logs. In the previous tutorial, we turned off all logs so that we could focus on SQL query logs only. The first thing we do now is to configure logging for SQL commands. Because we disabled everything, now we will configure logging so that logs for SQL commands appear for us. For this, open the program.cs file and locate the statement where we added our project context. Just add a log to call next to the use SQL server call. This call logs all information to the console output. Now the log messages will show the time in milliseconds along with the SQL syntax that was executed on the database side. And now let's practically run a SQL select query and display the time taken for completion. Open the Solution Explorer and locate the index.cs HTML file. Double-click and open it. Recall that we already have a link called click to seed for seeding the database. Add an action link, anchor link called select all items just next to it so that we can click it to run a select query. This link is connected to a handler called select_1. And next open the backing class and add a handler called onGetSelect_1 async. Inside this handler we have fired a query await_context.items.toList_async. This query will bring all the columns of all the records of the items table. Run the project to open the home page. We observe that some log items have appeared in the console window. These SQL commands are due to the initialization of DB context. Come to the home page and click on the Select All Items link to fire the select query and allow the query to finish. We observe that the log window shows a log for the select query. The command execution time has been mentioned in the brackets with executed command and followed by the bracket time in milliseconds. This is how we can read the log and the time consumed by a query. As you must have already seen, the console log is fairly bulky, and if you run too many queries, then it might be difficult to locate a specific query. Another problem is that the final SQL queries, they might look very different from the LINQ query. So there could be some difficulty in determining the log entry that corresponds to a particular LINQ query. The above problem can be solved by using query tags with the select queries. Open the index.cshtml.cs file and modify the handler for the select query to add a tag to the select query. Context.items.tagWith followed by some string. The tag is added, as you can see, by using a method called tagWith. A tag is any readable string. And run the project again, and this time notice that the tag string appears in the log window. So now you know which query appears at what place. And this is how we can use tags. We'll close it right now. Thank you.